Hi guys, it's me, Joseph Machine again, and for this video that I will be dedicated to the sequel cartoon to the Justice League called Justice League Unlimited. Real creative on that one. I will be discussing this show and how great it is and how kind of not so great it is. But trust me, it's still a wonderful show. But yeah, there are some very it's a bright show, but there's still some dark spots in it that I think you should be aware of. Now, first and foremost, the name Justice League Unlimited. You think that because the original cartoon Justice League would just like focus on the Earth, the heroes of the DC universe, and the main around the Earth stuff. You'd think that the next series involved would name like Unlimited would involve like more comic stuff, like more like universe and stuff, rather than just dealing with the common everyday problems of the supervillains of Earth. But no, it turns out that the word unlimited in this case refers to the actual teammates themselves, because in this one, rather than the first cartoon had just like a core 7 of the Justice League, that being Hawk Girl, Martian Manhunter, The Flash, Superman, Batman, the best Green Lantern ever, John Stewart, and last but certainly not least, Wonder Woman. So that was basically it, with some pluses and minuses here and there. But in this show, it vastly improved the cast of the roster. Same with the villains too. And you get some backstory of some of them, like Giganta, like I think it's Death Manta from Aquaman, and in this one they also give more of a permanent residence to heroes like Aquaman, Dr. Fate, the Hawk and Dove, Vigilante, and Shane Knight, which I gotta say, I have a bit of a soft spot for those two with no real superpowers. I do like the Shane Knight in that he has like a Middle English type accent, like the and thou, yay and all that stuff from the medieval times. But he uses them. He talks like that with like references to modern day technology and futuristic type tech. So that's pretty cool. They also have the mention of Vigilante, which is basically a cowboy guy with two six-shooters in his hands and a bandana around the mouth, which is kind of a staple for the Old West type characters, like the types and whatnot. So I would say that's a plus too over there. Call me an old-fashioned Western guy, but I like that in my heroes. Because, everyone has their own hero types. Let's see here. What else is there? Did so much to this cartoon, but no, there's no real universe charting type abilities, except at the end when Darkseid comes back into town under the disguise that he's really Brainiac, trying to be rebuilt by Lex Luthor, but in the ultimate full you moment, it turns out to be that they revived Darkseid instead. I'll get to that at the end. This show is really good because it introduces characters that you normally wouldn't see. Like for example the character I forgot his name. He resembles Freakazoid combined with the Joker. He's like a crazy man, more or less. He's actually pretty funny. But he gets some good calm moments where he's able to control himself. He's able to fight bad guys pretty well. There's also an introduction to Amanda Waller's more darker side. And that's more of an antagonist that you don't really know what you're gonna do next. The leak. And then you have the teams of Ultraman or Ultimate, something like that. There are like five teams of like the B Squad of heroes, like action figures and all that. And they're done by Natural Lord as well as some other less than stellar people. So there are also less episodes in it that are like two parts. Like unlike the original Justice League cartoon. Now when I say that I mean that there are continuous storylines, but there are different episode names, so no part 1, part 2, part 3. But they do have different names on the storyline of wherever the cliffhangers were in the first part of the show. The first episode, the second episode. But speaking of which, there's one episode where it's different from what they called in the Netflix title of it and what it is in the show. I don't know if that was a mistake or a typo or whatever, but it was just annoying. And the episode I'm talking about is Mystery in Space. I don't know what it was called in the title card or whatnot. Now also, the problem, there's another problem too with Netflix, in that they have a season 1 had been 26 episodes, and then the next season been 13 episodes. But the thing is that with that, if you look at the actual episode list on like Wikipedia or something, they have different numbers for the episode numbers for seasons. So I don't know how they brought that one up, but they did, and it's kind of annoying. They did that with Sonic X2 and Sonic SAM2, and I think they did that with one of the seasons for My Little Pony. So that was something that was kind of weird and stupid. Also, there's a little issue with the opening sequence, which I don't like. Now, remember in the first show, the Justice League cartoon, where they had all the characters, all the main 7 characters, doing the little action poses and whatnot. First, there was Wonder Woman. first there was Batman, then there was Wonder Woman, then there was Green Lantern, then Superman, then the Martian Manhunter, and there was the Flash, and then there was Hawk Girl. So there was that. So then they had introduction for them, but then they went into some kind of stupid territory where they had like blurry shots of everyone and the main three people in comic books in DC universe, Superman, and Batman, and Wonder Woman, all doing poses. Screw everybody else. They had like minor parts. And then they also had I should put this, they had snippets each of the shows, the villains and stuff in the actual credit they had during the opening sequence. So it was kind of giving away the specific episode action and all the what would happen in future episodes in there, which was kind of annoying because you were looking for that specific action sequence in the opening sequence. Like, oh man, where did we see Black Canary do that? Where did we see a Time Man do that? That kind of thing. So it was kind of frustrating too. But there were actually quite cute references in the movie, in the show too. For example, there was one joke where Gorilla Grodd would step down and Dr. Fate has to probe up Wally West the Fawcett find. And like Luthor was it too, so by him trying to get information from the Flash, he accidentally transferred the Flash's mind with like Luthor's mind. And they were trying to convince them. They were trying to convince the counterparts that I'm really the person I say I am. For example, when the Flash in Lex's bias test to Grodd, I'm the real Lex Luthor. To Grodd, yeah. If you're the Lex, then I'm Charlton Heston. That's fairly funny and too levels. Because number one, Charlton Heston played in the movie Planet of the Apes. And I think his name was Taylor. So that was very funny. Number two, that he said, "Get your hands off me. Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty apes." That was actually really funny too. And number three is that I believe the Planet of the Apes is a Warner Brothers franchise. So another funny bit is that they have where Lex Luthor goes to his secret hideout, and guess what that is? Something where no one would look at for him. Yeah, that's right. But it was a barber shop. And yeah, people say that too. So they also showed that Shaya Hall, aka Hulk Girl, is separated from what's her name, from Green Lantern in this movie, in this cartoon show, and he went with Vixen, another character that I didn't know about before watching it. Yeah, most of my memories of the of this type of cartoon came from Paul Dini's and Bruce Timm's Justice League cartoon, and also the Batman and Superman cartoon too. All done in the Art Deco style of drawing. So that was actually really cool. But yeah, so Vixen is like it's like a superpower zoo. Well, a zoo, what could she use? A zoo. Kind of like a zoo creature ass that you could become any animal that you wanted to inherit the powers of them. And she wasn't that bad either, thought looking. But they said that on a trip to the future, they found out that Shayera Hall is actually the mother of Warhawk, and the father is John Stewart. So we already know that they're going to be hooked up by the end of the program. Same with one of the other episodes where Supergirl is now more mature after being yelled at by John, which I don't like his bald head. Anyway, she matures, she gets more mature and better and stuff. And it turns out that she goes with, spoiler alert, one of the episodes, she ends up going with, the descendant of Brainiac. Brainiac 5, actually, to be precise. So the thing is that, by that logic, we know that there's some way Brainiac, when the evil one, gets reconstituted somehow. So forget about the whole Darkseid thing taking over his body and stuff. But we already know that somehow, some way, somebody does make Brainiac whole again. So it's very funny that at the end of the episode, they say, Clark Kent says, no, I hope you sound like a nice boy. You sound like a real nice boy you got hooked up with in the future, in like 1,000 or so years in the future. By the way, what's his name? And then they cut to the end of the show, but before they actually give the answer, because they knew that he would bust the gasket, knowing who Supergirl would be with for eternity, the descendant of an organic Brainiac. He would have freaked out by it. Anyway, there's also other little funny episodes, like the part where the add up, they can shrink and get bigger and smaller and stuff. Will has to fight with Wonder Woman, and he ends up shrinking. He ends up shrinking down, and she ends up putting her in putting the guy inside of her bustier, so that she can use both hands to fight with against a bunch of nanomachines. So, we all know that that's kind of over for a woman to do that. And we all know that that's kind of something of a not fully child, fan service, yeah. That's more of a fan service type thing. But logically speaking, what's to prevent Wonder Woman from putting him in a tiara? That don't make any sense. You got this much coverage, protection from bad guys for putting stuff in the guy inside your tiara or your hairpiece or something like that, rather than right here. which could easily be squished. So anyway, with that, and I'm glad that the show finally answered my questions from the first series as to why the Martian Manhunter transformed into a Chinese-style dragon. Turns out that, like last episode, when it called for John Jones to come back to the lake because he's like the de facto leader for some reason, and he gets power to somebody else. Anyway, it's not important. So then they show him getting with an older Asian woman in China. Assume that he likes Chinese culture and stuff. And then transform into a red dragon. So this is a handful of good reference, as well as why I like Chinese dragons so much. I mean, I think it's cool, but still, it's amazing how funny it is. So, anyway, we call, there's also another thing too that was brought up in the, when I did the first cartoon series. I didn't mention that I forgot to bring up, but I'll bring it up here. The thing with Orion and what's his name? Not Superman. Orion and that really hairy guy. I forgot his name. His name be squat and really hairy and real muscular. Really stupid looking, ugly. So it was told that Darkseid and Highfather swapped children as part of truth, but the guy, I can't think of his name right now. Caliban, the ugly hair guy. He looks more like a troll than anything else. He's actually Highfather's son, and Orion is Darkseid's son. So wouldn't it make more sense, but look at them that it'd be the other way around? That it'd be more Caliban is Darkseid's son. Not to be good to him by looks, but I would think that Orion looks like Adonis God looking like real handsome dude. I would think that he wouldn't be really Darkseid whatsoever, unless they're trying to imply that he became the father of Orion before he transformed into the craggy, blocky, dog king guy. Then how would they explain why Highfather is the father of Caliban? Meanwhile, if Caliban is so ugly and hairy and stuff, you would expect for him to look like Highfather. Highfather looks like a Zeus-like character, Greek god character, like Orion. So I don't get how that works out. So let's see here. I forgot to mention that Giganta. I love Giganta. She's my homegirl. I love her. She's awesome. Even though she was a wolf from an ape in the cartoon. Yet give her a little bit of backstory. And she's more tight with Gorilla Grodd, which is a Flash villain for some reason. She seems to be more of a rival to Wonder Woman, which is real cool. ain't gonna lie. I like to see two beautiful, attractive, smart, and powerful women fight each other. You know, that's real good. Plus, it's a parody on the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman movie, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard it's bad. But so, let's see what else is there. You got, with that, and he apparently has a thing for the Flash too, and the last episode they do. But you know, I wish that they would expand more on Character of Fire, that green Brazilian girl. She was awesome. Wish they expanded on her. I love Green Arrow. I love Black Canary. I love the episode where she had to fight Wildcat. I love the episode where all women in the group had to fight for roulette, which is it's kind of weird because I feel like for some of the characters they were running out of ideas, so they just say, you know, come up with some names, random one-word names for them, and come up with random powers and abilities for them. So one guy even looks like a sadomasochistic gimp as he's fighting teams of Ultraman. Ultrahumanite, something like that. And the original teammates they have Long Shadow in it too, which is one of the he turned over to the good guys. It was revealed that they would die because they were Flash cloned. Let's see here. You know what? No, it's this thing. But yeah, they put like a bunch of random powers together with a bunch of people and stuff. Also, I would like to see who that Green Skull villain was. I would like to know more about him. Yeah, he reminded me a lot of, say, the character of Ghost Rider, but without the motorcycle. Also, it left a little bit of a cliffhanger too, which I didn't like too much. So they had one episode in which General wanted to destroy the Justice League because he wanted to protect the people against them if they rose again like that, like the Lords. And he had and he took some kind of serum and he became like a very clear parody of the Hulk, only uglier and grey. So like Joe Fix-It Hulk. So anyway, they had him like that. And it was like very weird that he wanted to protect everybody, always scared the living daylights out of everybody. You know, at least the Hulk looked presentable. This guy just looked like a monster, like a Frankenstein monster. And he said, you know, I'm gonna be here whenever you guys mess up, so I clean up your mess. But he never heard from her ever again in the show. I wish he brought him back for the final episode, which the good guys team up with the bad guys, the Darkseid, and the Parademons and such. I like the episode with Granny Goodness. I want to say that I think that she was a cartoon-only character. A fantasy card design was based on looked like Ursula from the Little Mermaid cartoon, which was based on Divine the Jack Queen. Also, the voice too was kind of like Ursula too. I don't know if they were the same voice actress. But speaking of which, the voice actress for Giganta was Jennifer Hale, the voice of Thorn. And Lex Luthor was played not by Lex Lang, which sounds like a porn name, but by Clancy Brown, which I think he is a great cartoon Lex Luthor. And I think Gene Hackman, rest his soul, Gene Hackman makes a good live action Lex. Says I. Here, yeah, it would be nice for that whole creature to make another cameo. I'm sure that they probably used him more in comic book form, but it was just really stupid that they didn't bother with him. Let's see, they have Captain Adam, they have him in the first episode, and they have a Chinese nuclear monster, which kind of shaping Supergirl into a reckless, from a reckless person into a more tight, more by the books superhero. I don't remember her being that reckless in the cartoon though, in the Superman cartoon. So, maybe they took liberties with it until she eventually got more disciplined and she adopted more of her cousins out of it. And also, I love what they did with Galatea, Power Girl. Not for the obvious reason, mind you, but because she has a real evil streak in her. I don't know if they did anything else with her besides this cartoon, but they did a good job with it. They also made Wonder Woman into a pig, and then they also made her into a gorilla later on. And it was pretty funny. And she said, oh no, not again. And they had Batman played by Kevin Conroy doing that, and my blue song, which was actually really nice, really touching. R.I.P. to Miss Kevin Conroy, by the way. He was a legend. He's the definitive animated Batman. I don't think what anyone says he's the best. And that was it. There was also a touching moment where Ace from the Royal Flush Gang died. It was real touching because Batman, this ultimate tough, hard-ass guy, actually had a little sympathy for a little girl with a club on her chest. Anyway, that was really touching to see her. Him clear her actually took her last moments. He didn't actually show her dying, but he showed the influence of her reality-warping powers disappearing. So that by itself showed that the girl died. And then they showed Batman carrying her out, which is actually really touching and really sweet. Without actually showing it. The moment of death. Let's see, what else is there? I might want to talk about the ending couple episodes. So basically, Lex Luthor is on a quest to take Deck to rebuild Brainiac, one of the ultimate bad guys of Superman, beside Darkseid. And we all remember that Darkseid died, either within this series or the series beforehand. He died in the loser and he blew up in his ship above Apocalypse. So Lex is desperate to try to get Brainiac back together again after he was after his body was hijacked. That part actually reminded me a lot of The Fly with the body horror task. Again with the body horror aspect of it. And so anyway, the Flash ended up doing like a weird way where we vibrate into Lex body. Don't read too much into that, but he vibrates in the body and gets throughout the whole Brainiac to make Lex's body into a pure human being again. So anyway, when he did that, he saw his great Grammy Flash where he died. And then see all the superheroes, all the main 7 people, dragging his body out of the Speed Force. And then he can't come back, he can't do that again, or he will die. So that was like really touching. You know what was also touching? The fact that they had Trey Hall meet up with this guy Carter, who turned Vietnam Thanagarian, but with his mind was poisoned into thinking that they were together for 5,000 years before the current time period, and then she cheated on him with a guy that was very similar to John Stewart in the past, even more green around his Egyptian style clothing. But anyway, there was that, and then there was the question of what happened to the Hawkman when the Thanagarians try to conquer Earth. And this bird, this pretty Polly, as I said, really gets around quite nicely between her people and John Stewart. So anyway, it seems that Lex Luthor is trying to bring Brainiac back, and he does like a little fragment of the word like Rod gets him doing some stuff for him, and then you see Talia actually going back and forth with Giganta, and then her going back and forth between Lex and Rod too. I don't even want to imagine anything romantic happening for them too. So then you see Lex can tie up to magic get siphon thing to get to absorb all the magical power to draw out Brainiac. And then Brainiac gets revealed to be Darkseid in disguise. And Darkseid took over everything. And he even blinged out himself with other technology. Now before we move on with the rest of that, let me just say about the part that when Morgan Le Fay and her kid end up ruining everything and transferring all the tools to make them all kids and stuff. And when he put all the old people in another dimension, what she does what she has to do. And then they have all the league members who fight her transformed into little kids. It's kind of like Dragon Ball Daima before Dragon Ball Daima was a thing. So anyway, they have Etrigan the demon that was transformed by Morgan way back when. Little baby Etrigan is so damn cute. he's so adorable. And Wonder Woman and Batman do share a little bit of chemistry that will be continued in the next episode, which turned picked by Cersei. So in any case, they show all this, and then they show attack that what's the name never was Etrigan. When the spell is broken and everyone returns back to normal, you see Etrigan being held up by Wonder Woman and he's Mama! And then she drops him on the rug. It's so funny. It's so cute. Suddenly, back with Darkseid again. They show all blinged out. Then they show that Superman and the League have to team up with the bad guys with like Luthor, Bizarre, Cheetah, so on and so forth. Because they say that it's R2 if Darkseid destroyed the Earth, then we got nowhere to live, we got nowhere to burrow, we got nowhere to rob and all that stuff. So also, nothing to it that if Darkseid destroyed the Justice League, you know, he's going after you next, and going after all the big villains and all the good guys too. So we gotta team up. And he do a real good job of taking out parademons and stuff. And as a reward for it, the Justice League give him 5 minutes to start to run away. In which Superman says to Batman, you're getting soft to let him go 5 minutes. Well, I would like to see the Joker back there. So anyway, they show that Superman and Batman do a pretty good job with fighting with Darkseid, and it's the first time that human being ever evaded Darkseid's Omega beams, which is really something special. So then we get into the whole fighting thing with Darkseid versus Superman, because we all know that the only one that can really do damage to Darkseid is Superman. Because according to him, when he was fighting with him before he got all the power-ups and all the technology bling and stuff, he would barely holding his own against Darkseid. So it's a pretty evenly matched there. And even when he punched Darkseid a few times, it seemed like he liked it. It's like he tasted some blood. Both times he fought him. So before I get into that, again, they had a nice fight with Doomsday, and a nice rematch, but this time with the good Superman, not the one from the Lords, from the other dimension. And it was funny because they have the Doomsday that you know, whenever they have it on YouTube on like clips of Superman versus Doomsday, they always forget the last part where Doomsday is surrounded by the lava rock, the hardened magma, and they have them unable to break free. And then they always launch them into the the Phantom Zone, so it can't hurt anybody else. I would get confused as to why they would always forget this part, and they would always have like nowhere where they have him to die in the volcano. We all know that he's Doomsday is super durable. He can't die the same way twice. And all the others did. So what would Lava do anything to him permanently? And then you realize that he was just sent. He was imprisoned in the rock and then sent to the Phantom Zone, where I'm assuming that he just was so pissed off that he punched his way out of it. So anyway, you got Darkseid all bleeding out and stuff, and trying to take down Superman by himself. Now then you get the awesome speech about Superman always have to hold back because he was doing normal people and such like that. And this parallel with me too, because whenever I'm doing stuff, I like to I have to hold back my strength. Even before I got like this, or was I always trying to hold back because of my ballistic movement and stuff. So everything seems to be fragile. Even let's say by some miracle chance, I do get romantically involved with somebody, or I do get physical with somebody. You know, I could always overplay my hand, if you will, and hurt them if I'm not careful. So I always gotta be extra careful with that. Unless I'm dealing with a super strong person. Much in the same way that whenever I'm driving a real car, you know, I gotta be careful. I gotta be like, I'm always nervous that I might overdo it or underdo it or whatever. So I'm looking nervous right when I drive because I try to be perfectly down the road. No pun intended here. But whenever I'm driving, it's like that. So I drive extra slowly down the road, like a little lady going to church. And let's see here. But because Darkseid is a real powerful villain, and that kind of thing, he said, Superman said to me that you can take it big, I can go full power on your ass. So he gives him the most powerful blow ever by using both of his fists to knock him down into the ground and make a big clear and all that. And like me, you know, unless like a really strong person with me, I could hurt them because of my strength and my movements that are not 100% controlled. So anyway, during this time, like, Lex Luthor is finding the one thing that Doctor actually wants, and that being the anti-life equation, which number one kills him, number two will end all free will in the universe. So this character called Megatron, which I think is like supposed to be the DC version of Uatu the Watcher, in that he doesn't really do anything, he doesn't participate in fights, he just observes them. So he goes into the Source Wall, which is kind of weird. It's kind of like a barrier constituting all the people that try to break into the Source Wall and get all the information about the anti-life equation and whatnot. So these characters are faces that are really similar to the Celestials or Galactus of Morphine. And for one time, I would like to see one of those faces do pull his face like that. That would be pretty shit. But let's look at the intellect equation. He presents the dark side in like a weird he called it power suit, which is basically a black and white tuxedo suit, which is really funny because he always wears a power suit to take on Superman. But because he fight with him for good this time, it's weird because Superman was defeated by Darkseid's little trick called the Agony Matrix. Direct nervous system, a simulation of 1,000 times the worst pain. So basically help for soups. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this question, okay? I was watching this many times on YouTube, and I did that. I want to ask you guys, do you think that Superman would be able to defeat Darkseid or all the technological upgrades and software power if Darkseid did not pull the Agony Matrix on him? I think he could. I think he could knock Darkseid off the power pedestal if he got the opportunity to do so. With the Agony Matrix, with the Agony Matrix and pull on by surprise, Superman would easily defeated by that. But if he had avoided it, or if Darkseid didn't use it altogether, he would still be able to be defeated by Superman. Just a idea. Anyway, he said everyone in the league said, that they're not dead. They'll be back, and we'll be ready for them. No, because Darkseid did seem overpowered, even more so than usual. So I think that he would have been able to defeat anybody, with the exception of, say, Doomsday again. So yeah, I did like this cartoon a lot. There were some things that kind of bothered me. I do like the idea about introducing characters like Huntress and the Question, which he's a real fun especially not. But the only thing is that you do explain that he has a face under his no-face mask, which is kind of cool. And I think he should use Rorschach from the Watchmen in the two, and that in the two would be nice too. I think that DC universe characters they would be nice, and I like their relationship. I like Speedy in the two from Teen Titans. Apparently with Green Arrow's protege. I like them. I wish something more with Cheetah. He did some stuff like Death or something like that. He did something with flagship. He did Wonder Woman as Princess Diana, which not the real Princess Diana is dead. They could pick a different name for that, Um, let me see here. Like what the Wild West met. Little the whistle in his head. It was like found his secret identity. So he rips off the hood and he says, I have no idea who this person is. I like the fact that they show that the Super team can't work out because they always have their own goals, their own motivation, their own backstabbing ways about them that they end up fighting with each other at the end of the episode. The second to last episode. I think both there, yeah, it's really awesome show. I think, they do some stuff it's not so, do some stuff with them fighting the dragon tanks from, Apocalypse. The other Lantern Corps would be nice, but in hope they have love in there too. They do have love in there, but compassion and hope. Avarice would be nice, but in there life and death would be nice too. Although you do make a reference to Blackest Night and Brave Day, rage would be nice, but atrocious lawfully surround the avarice and compassion would be nice too. So that would be nice. They do have many mental cause in it too, which is nice. I think they had daughter of Sinatra in it too. They could learn a lot more with it from the character. It'd be nice if they have more time, but the show wasn't that popular, so they just have like a small amount of episodes, which is a shame because I could come on with it. I wish I had more older Night or Freaky the Elf. It had Martian Manhunter become more human. So anyway, this show was like pretty good. I love Black Canary. I love the fact that they had Black Canary versus the Mangalore, which is voiced by Otho from Beetlejuice. Yeah, Glenn Shakes. Like, is that guy him? Nah, it can't be. So when I looked up, it wasn't. It was really Otho. And he has like the Blob's powers from X-Men. And I loved the way he was standing up to Canary and her sonic scream. And right up until she ended up losing the voice to that scream, so it bowed down. That's like a nice weakness she has. She can do the scream up until a certain point in time. And she runs out of breath in her lungs. And yes, I do enjoy her costume. But besides that, yeah, I thank you for watching my video on Just League Unlimited cartoon. It was very awesome, and as you can imagine, since this thing is gonna run over an hour, I give it my happy face seal approval because it's just so damn awesome. I wish they had more cosmic stuff, more cosmic enemies and things of that nature. But yeah, I recommend it to anyone that wants to see it. Anyway, if you like what you see here and you want to see more of my videos and such, you know, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on. You can also contact me on my cell phone by calling me or texting me at 631-707-3707 for any type of commentary or any type of future ideas of my channel and whatnot. Or you can follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at PMaelstrom_Pro. Also, you can get me on my, my email at jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, as for you guys for watching this, I like the DC universe. I was born in a DC household. And by the way, Lex Luthor is my dad's favorite villain in this universe. Because he's suave, intelligent. They claim that he got 12 level in intellect. I won't go that far, but that's not why I didn't do prerequisites on getting the intellect equation. And then when doctors saw it, we were like doing over it. The intellect equation must have regardless of well-being to me. So it gives to me and become what you wish for. You just might get it. So anyway, I enjoyed the series. Especially anyone who likes animation and stuff like that. Where the cliffhanger is, we know that Hawkgirl and Green Lantern get together because Warhawk is there, and we know that Brainiac 5 comes out because we know that Brainiac 1 had to survive to get him organic and whatnot. So, where did that come from? If Darkseid inhibited the fragment of Brainiac, if he doesn't exist, how can Brainiac 5 exist? Who am I overthinking this too much? I wish I could do like a episode by episode vlog series like the others I've done in the past. Maybe later. Anyway, peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you in the next video. Or you girl, guys, in Interland. Aloha. Avida sayonara. Signing off.